Danielle, the other day you said you love seeing Cinderella on Broadway. And just a couple of seasons ago or so, you were playing in Stillwater, maybe Bethany Beach and so forth. Is this a little bit of a Cinderella ride for you in any way?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. That's a good way to look at it. It's been an incredible experience, and I'm so grateful to be here in Melbourne. I definitely played some tournaments in some strange places that the first year that I turned pro, so I'm really just grateful to be out here doing what I love and playing in front of a good crowd.
Talk a little bit about the match today. I mean, did you see an opening right away with Angie, or it's, you know, you could win, but we expected, you know, a little bit more from her as a three-time champion too. So you seem to take her out of it.
Yeah, we spent a good amount of time watching her play, and I played her last year, so I was familiar with her game. I had a clear mindset of what I was going to do, and from the very first point, I showed her that I was going to let her into the match and that I was going to dictate the entire way through. And I stuck to my game plan, and it clearly worked out well for me, and pretty much smooth sailing throughout the entire thing, and I was just feeling really great.
You know, a lot of players who sit up on that dais, they say, I'm not worried about what the opponent's going to do, only focused on my game and executing my game. And watching you play, it seems that you are tactically very aware of how to problem solve in a match. We've seen matches where you're running and retrieving a little bit more than hitting. Today it seemed like very offensive. Can you talk about kind of how your game has evolved in that way of being able to adjust?
Yeah, I think when I was in college, my coaches did a really great job developing my game into being very versatile. I can play offensive, I can play defensive, I can play kind of middle of the road, I can retrieve, I can, you know, I'm a very good athlete, so I'm confident in everything that I'm doing, and so tactically, that's one of my strengths, and I like knowing what the other person's going to do, and I like watching what different players do and kind of become aware of what's going to happen when I play them so that there's no surprises. And so I really think that that's something that helps me out a lot on the court, is I'm aware of what they're doing, and I do think about what they're doing a little bit. I obviously want to, you know, use my strengths to the best I can, but I do pay attention a good amount to what my opponent's going to do. So
in terms of your confidence, which it's always been a big weapon of yours, or big asset of yours, how was it easy to have it in your first time, fourth round of a Grand Slam against a player you've only won 2 games against last time?
Yeah, I think the first time I played her, it was on grass courts, and I haven't really had a lot of experience playing on grass. I didn't play any of the junior, like Wimbledon or any of the junior grass court tournaments, and so it may have only been like my 7th or 8th match ever on grass. So it was a totally different match playing on hard courts here, and you know, I just kind of went out with confidence, knowing that this was going to be a fresh new start for me, and yeah.
She left the court after the first set, which was very short, and you seemed to be sort of smiling about that. I'm curious if it was tough at all to keep the hot streak you had going with a bit of a stall.
Yeah, I was actually smiling because I was giving the referee a hard time about the new rule the WTA made about how you can only take 1 bathroom break. So I kind of needed to go to the bathroom, but I was also like, well, maybe I want to wait. I kind of hesitated, and so I was just asking him some questions, like if I went to the bathroom, because she went to the bathroom, if that was going to count towards one of my bathroom breaks, and so I was just kind of like strategically trying to plan out when I was going to urinate, kind of.
Do you remember last year you were ranked somewhere around 160 a year ago? Now you're back here, you're around 25, 24. Totally changed. I would think you're so much better, yes?
Yeah, I think I've definitely made improvements, but I also think that at the end of the day, tennis is tennis, and some of my most challenging matches were at 25Ks and 60Ks, playing Sasha Vickery in the finals of a 25K and having it be a 3-set match. I've faced some of my toughest matches there, and so I think the biggest thing is now I'm playing in bigger tournaments every week. I'm playing a full WTA schedule, and now I'm just playing against bigger opponents that people are more familiar with.
Do you get the feeling that you've sort of taken a different pathway to ending up on the Grand Slam sort of circuit? And do you think that that has helped you be able to handle some of these big moments better?
Yeah, I think going to college helped me, develop myself as a person. I really know who I am, the type of person that I am, what I want to do with my life, what I want to do with my tennis. I have other interests and passions aside from tennis. I'm able to relax, I think, a little bit more maybe than some other people because they've kind of just been doing tennis their whole life and haven't really ventured out much. For each their own. But for me, I'm really happy with my decision, and I think it was the best thing for me.
When you were in college, did you see yourself on eventually getting to this stage, when you were playing in college?
Yeah, I think I'm a really in-the-moment person, and I'm always just kind of trying to, there's no better time than now. And I obviously wanted to play professionally. I think I knew I had the potential. My coaches certainly always encouraged me and told me that I was talented and athletic, and I could be really, really great if I wanted to do that. So yeah.
You've spoken a little bit about your confidence, but given your Grand Slam history before this past week, are you surprised a little at what you've been able to do here so far and into the quarterfinals?
Honestly, no. I mean, I had some tough situations last year where maybe I didn't get past the first round, but let's face it, I played Wozniacki first round at the French. I played Mertens first round at Wimbledon, and Sabalenka first round at the U.S. Open. So I lost to really good players, and I had some opportunities in those matches to maybe have a different outcome. You're not going to bring your best tennis every day, and I think just having faith, believing in what you're doing, and I work my butt off. There's nothing I could have done more. There's nothing I could have done less. I did everything that I could in those situations, and sometimes it just doesn't go the way you want it to, and everybody gets their shot at the pie, and right now I'm certainly getting mine, and I'm doing very well, and so I'm just kind of focused on that.
After she came back, she was being a little more vocal, and then you hit a drop shot winner and were vocal right back at her. And I'm just curious how important that was, to sort of reminder that you were still there.
Yeah, I mean, I think you all know I'm my own person. I'm feisty, and I love making it, kind of a war. And if somebody wants to get in my face on my unforced errors, I have no problem getting right back at them and making it a feisty match. So I love that. Embrace it, and I love when things get competitive. I mean, Stein will tell you in the practices, I'm always talking crap. I'm always, just kind of pulling people's legs and being like, hey, I'm beating up on you today in practice. Like, you better step your game up. So it's just part of the deal with me.
Competitive and feisty away from tennis?
Yeah, you haven't seen me at Topgolf or bowling. I'm like, even karaoke, I try to go. I don't have a good voice, but I always try to be the best at whatever I'm doing. And if I'm not, I still tell myself I'm the best. You got to believe it, right? I mean.
Sorry, I talked too much questions.
You talked about away from tennis. You mentioned that you wrote a screenplay in college. I don't think too many players have done that. What was it about, and who's going to play the lead in your screenplay?
Well, I didn't choose any actresses or actors for my screenplay, but it's funny because the first draft was a totally different story than the second draft. So the first draft was about the schizophrenic, crazy cat lady that was living out of her van and all of the shenanigans that she was getting into. And then I just didn't really have that much confidence that my professor was really going to like it, because some of the other people in the class were sharing our ideas, and I kind of thought, okay, maybe he would be more interested in sports. So I basically it's actually based off of a true story of an NFL football player that was deaf, and so I did a screenplay on his life. Derek.
Going back to,
You
Okay, but going back to the feistiness and everything, it's a hallmark of yours, and I know that it can get under player skin, it can get under fans, and there's reaction to it either way. How do you? I mean, you seem totally fine with it and kind of eat it up, but can you kind of talk through that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I just love competition, and whether people are for me or against me, I'm not really fazed by it. I love it. Either way, I kind of like it more when people cheer against me sometimes, because I'm kind of like, yeah, I want to like get them back. I want to like prove them wrong. And sometimes when people are all for me, you know, it's really nice to have the support. But then sometimes I'm like, I hope somebody kind of says something negative so I can prove them wrong.